houses. You will not get it anywhere else.
Feeling stuck with a house that you need to sell fast? Dealing with repairs, realtors, and endless paper?
The White House wrapping up a briefing with shocking new information on the media's cold Maryland dad. The alleged MS-13 gang member, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Caroline Levitt was joined by the mother of Rachel Morin. Her daughter was brutally murdered by an illegal immigrant. Here's Caroline.
The Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country.
That comes as Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen went to El Salvador in order to fetch his Salvadorian constituent that he claims was illegally abducted.
This is about due process. This is about rule of law. What bullies do is they begin by picking on the most vulnerable.
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city. The goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
I won't stop trying, and I can assure the President, the Vice President, that I may be the first United States Senator to visit El Salvador on this issue, but there will be more, and there will be more members of Congress coming.
And at the briefing, Rachel Morin's mother ripped her senator strip.
A senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge, or barely acknowledged my daughter and the brutal death that she endured, leaving her 5 children without a mother and now a grandbaby without a grandmother, so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone that's not even an American citizen. Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter, or my grandchildren? I don't understand.
There is a brand new and much more efficient way to increase the value of your Calgary home by 5 to 10% without investing large sums of money on renovations or dealing with contractors.
All right, Harold, I'll start with you. What we found out is the Maryland father was not working at Home Depot, as was represented here yesterday. He was one of the illegals standing outside waiting to be picked up, as they often do, to get a job for cash under the table. In addition, we also have a police report indicating the reasons why he was identified as MS-13. We also have 2 court orders saying that Abrego Garcia was an MS-13 gang member and needed to be deported. And in addition to that, the father of the year, Abrego Garcia, that a United States senator never called Rachel Morin's mother, who was a constituent of his, is going to see El Salvador. The man he's going to see, his common law wife, we don't even know if they were really married, but 2, not once, but 2 orders of protection against him for assaulting her, for punching her, scratching her, ripping off her shirt, and beating her. So we've got domestic violence, MS-13, court orders, and not only that, he didn't even come into this country through a port of entry. He's one of the gotaways. He was too dangerous. He knew he wouldn't have been there. So why is the senator going there, Harold?
Well, he has every right to the person to be with him. He has every right.
Careful, honey.
American real estate if you're a foreigner?
Yeah, I live in Canada and all my properties I own are in the U.S.
Why not invest?
That's freaking language, you crazy person.
But we have the best military. You know, we never fight to win. We fight to just keep it going forever. And when we fight to win, there's nobody that can even come close to us. But I was talking to General Dan Kane, and we call him Raising Kane. And I was told it would take about 4 years to defeat ISIS, and he did it in 3 weeks. I said to him, what do you think, General? How long will it take, sir? I think we should do it in less than 4 weeks. You're gonna have time left over, and he did that. And we were told by the television generals it would take 4 years, so we did it. That's when I went to Iraq. I flew to Iraq, and late at night, the dark of night, all the windows closed, all the lights off in the plane, in Air Force One. And we flew in, and it was pretty amazing. I'll tell you, we were landing, and there were no lights in the plane. Sir, we have to turn off all lights. I said, you mean we spend $9 trillion, and we have to fly in Air Force One with the lights off? And I went up to the pilot and said hello. And by the way, these guys are like central casting. These are the best looking human beings. Everybody's perfect. The most handsome people, the best looking people you've ever seen with the flat tops and the whole thing. And I was a little concerned because the lights are off. And everything's off. And even the lights in where he was were down, very dim, very, very dim, with all of the lights on the fancy dashboards of the plane, of Air Force One. We're getting a new Air Force One if they can ever finish the damn thing. I'm getting 2 of them, actually. But we may have to go a different route because it's taken them a long time. We're going to get military that's going to start building. We're going to get people to start building properly again in our country because they don't build properly. This was Boeing. But we're up there and looking at these people. And again, I say they look like Tom Cruise, but better. Stronger, tougher. And I like Tom Cruise, but these are better. And I said, are we okay, Captain? Yes, sir, we're fine. But I'm looking at it, I don't see any lights and we're landing. And I'm used to that. I like to sit with the pilots a lot and respect the pilots greatly. And we're up there and, we have the computer, I call it the computer voice, where it goes 1,900, 800, it's feet. Your feet above ground, so that means you're very low. And I'm looking out and my eyes are pretty good. And I don't see any lights. Computer goes out, sounds like an intelligent individual. It goes 1,000. We're 1,000 feet up. It's a 10-story building. There's a big plane. And then it goes 900, 800, 700. I say, Captain, we don't see any lights. Is everything? Yes, sir. Everything's fine, sir. We'll be landing in 3 minutes. And then it goes like 600, 500. Captain, we okay? And then he goes 400, 300, 200. And I'm saying, there's nothing out there. And then he goes, boom, perfect. Landing right on this thing. There are no lights on the run. There's no, I don't know how the hell they do it, but I'm sure as hell glad we had somebody that knows how to fly. But they didn't want to have any lights because they didn't want the enemy after spending, years and trillions of dollars. We have to land with Air Force One with no lights on the runway. But they were incredible people. And then I got out of the plane and I actually asked my people, I said, excuse me, I was very brave sitting in that cockpit. Am I allowed to give myself the Congressional Medal of Honor? And they said, I don't think so, sir. I said, well, I felt I was extremely brave. Now, here's the problem with saying a story like that when you're a kid. The press will say, President Donald Trump wanted to give himself the Congressional Medal of Honor. Headlines, headlines all over, the fake news. We call it the fake news, but we're all wise to it. But it was something, and then I went down, and it was the same thing. I'm standing on the top, and I look down, and there's these handsome people. Everybody's like from a movie set. Good-looking guys. I get down the stairs. And, what's your name? My name is Kane, sir. What's your first name? They call me Raisin. I said, wait a minute, your name is Raisin Cane? I love you. I've been looking for you for 5 years. You are the great. This is what I want. And there was a general next to him. There was a colonel. There was a drill sergeant, a master sergeant. They were all like people. I could make a movie right now. I'd have the best looking people ever. And they were great. And then I went in and, sir, would you like to rest before the bed? No, I don't want to rest. I don't want to rest. I've been resting on the plane, other than the last few moments, which were quite harrowing. And I said, I don't want to rest. He was thinking about Biden in advance, you know. Biden would have gone there, he would have rested for days. They wouldn't have had a meeting. He'd just go home. No, I said, I don't want to rest. I don't want to rest at all. I want to go. So we went into this. And they said, I'm here, it's going to take a long time. It's not right, sir. It's not going to take a long time. We'll have it done in 4 weeks. I said, how can you say 4 weeks when in Washington they said 4 years? They said 4 weeks, sir. We'll hit them left, we'll hit them right, we'll hit them up the center, we'll hit them underground and overground, we'll knock the hell out of them, sir. And I said, why is it that they said so long? They wouldn't let us fight. We're very far away. They want us to fight for this, from this airport.